We start tonight with the weather as the winds are picking up and the clouds are moving in at the ocean front.
And we're tracking the chance for storms. You can see them popping up on the radar to the north there already.
Let's check it now with Jeff.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We have a lot of very strong activity, borderline severe to our north. Not a whole lot going on here. Some more severe stuff out a little bit closer to Durham. But this line, or actually what's left of it, is hardly anything over us, was actually a strong to severe line at one point as well, taking you back just 3 hours. And you can see all the bright colors, hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes. And then that got a little bit closer to us and really started to weaken. In fact, here is live lightning turned on, and you can see how much there was of it out there. And now not a whole lot left. A couple of light showers here across south side. To the north is where all the action is located right now. And that's closer to the main area of energy with this approaching cold front. And that's why the National Hurricane Center, the Storm Prediction Center has been saying that it's really northern Virginia on up toward New England that has the best chance of severe weather this evening. But we can't rule out some stronger storms here. You can really see things firing up there around Richmond. Little bit of activity moving here across areas of toward Turtle County, Hyde County, down in North Carolina. But what I'm mainly concerned with is the stuff moving in a little bit later here, starting to approach with that front from the north and west. So it'll be isolated in some spots and then occasionally become a little more scattered, meaning more of the showers and storms. Some of them could be a little on the heavy side with some downpours, lots of lightning and thunder. I'll be here throughout the evening to track it for you. But good luck, good news, I should say, it's all gone by morning as our luck is going to improve in terms of the temperatures and the humidity. And we're looking at cooler weather. That's all coming up in my forecast.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Now, if you see any damage from the storms tonight, we want to see it as well. Safely take photos or videos and email them to us to share it at 13newsnow.com.
We're following breaking news out of Portsmouth. That's where a judge has dismissed all but 3 charges against City Councilman Mark Whitaker after less than 2 days of trial. 13 News Now reporter Jacqueline Lee explains why.
The judge decided to dismiss 17 of the 20 charges against Portsmouth Councilman Mark Whitaker because of a lack of evidence. After all the eyewitness testimony over the past 2 days, he said there is nothing tying Mark Whitaker specifically to filing fraudulent loan applications and forging checks in 17 of those charges.
Justice was done. Justice was done.
Mark Whitaker's wife, Ingrid, is grateful tonight.
It's been very difficult, but we've kept ourselves in prayer, and we're just grateful for all of the support that we've gotten.
But it's not over yet for Portsmouth Councilman Mark Whitaker. He still faces 3 forgery charges involving alleged victim Kevin Blunt. Blunt testified in court earlier this morning. The contractor worked with Whitaker's church, New Bethel Baptist Church, to redevelop a dilapidated apartment complex across the street. But the church ran into money issues and needed $35,000. Blunt said he did not give permission to borrow against his name in his now defunct construction company. However, a loan application and checks were cashed in his name through Whitaker's credit union, New Bethel Federal Credit Union. But Whitaker's brother Philip took the stand, saying he's the one who was involved with the loan application and the checks. Here's Father James Whitaker.
He hadn't done anything wrong. We followed the standards, the guidelines of the credit union, and we have evidence that we did.
And in court, Whitaker said he will not be testifying in front of the jury. The jury will convene tomorrow at 9 o'clock. In Portsmouth, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.
Developing now in Virginia Beach, a boy is in the hospital after he was hit by a car this afternoon. Police say he was riding a bike near South Plaza Trail and Brenneman Trail when this happened. We are told when first responders arrived to the scene, the boy was unresponsive but breathing. Medics airlifted him to a hospital. We are working to find out his condition. Police have not released any information about the driver involved.
We're learning new information in a story we first told you about yesterday on 13 News Now. The Matthews County community is reacting to news that a volunteer church youth leader has been charged with sexually abusing a 15-year-old boy. A grand jury indicted Kenneth Scott Marshall this week. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton has the story.
David, I talked to community members here in Matthews County. Some of them say they're not surprised by the charges against Marshall.
Hopefully he can't do this to another person again.
Reaction from those who knew 36-year-old Kenneth Scott Marshall.
Sickening despicable.
According to the sheriff's office, authorities were notified of an incident involving a minor back in June. After a month-long investigation, the sheriff's office presented the evidence to a grand jury. That jury indicted Marshall, a volunteer youth leader, on 2 charges, including aggravated sexual battery of a minor and forcible sodomy of a minor through the use of mental incapacity or physical helplessness.
I'm happy that he's arrested. I'm happy he's off the street.
Marshall was involved with a local church. Cornerstone Fellowship released a statement saying, quote, Scott Marshall was a volunteer working with the youth at the church. Upon learning of the allegations in June, which did not occur at the church, he was immediately removed from his volunteer position and from any contact with our youth pending the outcome of the sheriff's investigation. Community members say they hope justice is served for the victim.
I hope it's served to the fullest extent to where I never have to see that face again on the streets.
In Matthews County, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
Police are searching for the person who shot a man in Newport News this morning. Police tell us around 5 o'clock, the victim was walking near 35th Street and Wickham Avenue when someone opened fire. The victim is in the hospital tonight but is expected to survive. If you know anything about this case, call the crime line.
Authorities tell us a Navy ship wasn't damaged when a fire started close to it in Norfolk. A viewer sent us this video of the scene at General Dynamics this morning. Norfolk Fire Rescue says the fire started in a dust collection system off of USS Mesa Verde in the dry dock. Again, the ship was not damaged. The ship is in dry dock right now for maintenance and repairs.
Tonight, city leaders and residents in Newport News are meeting in hopes of cutting down on crime. The community engagement session began about a half hour ago. This is a chance for people to share how they've been affected by violence, specifically when it involves gangs or young people. They're also brainstorming possible solutions to crime.
We want to inspire hope. We want to be able to provide opportunities. We want every citizen to feel like they're safe.
This session is part of the city's Building Better Futures program. There will be another event next month. 13 News Now reporter Chinu Her is at tonight's meeting. He will update you on what comes out of tonight's session tonight at 11.